Hey everybody, Matthew Solomon here, coach with MatthewSolomon.com. I was asked about forgiveness, and I get messages about this from time to time. It's like, how can I forgive? Why would I forgive? Why should I forgive? And the reality is, and the way, in my experience as a coach, in my experience as a student, as my experience as an observer, the forgiveness is for you. It's not for that person. And if there are things that have happened, which we've all had things happen, um, the anger, the resentment, the entitlement, the stuff that somebody should have done or stuff that somebody did that was fucked up, holding on to anger towards that person is detrimental to you, is detrimental to me, has no effect on them. There's an expression that resenting another person, is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. So why would you want to forgive somebody? To cut them free, to cut yourself free, so that you're not drinking the poison, so that you're not stewing in the anger, so that you're not stewing in the resentment. It's so that you can, within yourself, get free, feel empowered, do what you need to do for your life, for your healing, for your well-being. And if you're spending 10, 20, 30, 40, 60 years being mad at somebody, they don't fucking care if you're mad at them or not. They might not even be aware of it. But it's affecting you. Now, is it that easy to just forgive somebody? It can be. And there's nothing wrong if it's not. A lot of times, somebody who's had a horrible experience, somebody who's had a traumatic experience, somebody who's had a shitty experience or had shitty caregivers or whatever the case may be, you need to first be acknowledged for that. You need to first get that, yes, this thing happened to me. Yes, I'm angry about it. Yes, I'm justified in being angry, because yes, you're justified in being angry. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to stay angry? Or are you going to work through it? And sometimes you got to work through it to get to the forgiveness part. Sometimes it takes a lot of investigating and unwiring and different processes, especially if it's something like deeply traumatic, like deep traumatic emotional stuff. If there was abuse or something along those lines, yeah, you got to unravel it. But you also got to look at what's the cost on you for blaming that person. What's the cost on you for being angry at that person? Because there is a cost. It takes a toll. So do you want them to have that effect on you still? Because that's what's really happening. When you're blaming somebody, you're still giving them a certain amount of control over your well-being. So when you can cut them loose and say, you know what? I get that this happened. This is the effect on me. If you can understand why they did it, that's good too. And I forgive you. Doesn't mean you got to be best friends with them. Doesn't mean you have to interact with them. Doesn't mean you ever have to see them again. And it doesn't mean that what they did wasn't fucked up. It just means I'm letting them go. I am letting my anger go so that I can focus on what I need to and what I want to. And I've shared before, one of the significant things for me where I really got this was a breakup that I had 2 years ago. And we were in a situation where, we had been together, we moved in together with my kids, and 5 months into it, she up and left. And there were financial things to work out, which didn't get worked out. There was not just the emotional effect on me, but my kids. Like, it really affected, and still does to an extent, affects my kids. And there was no apology. There was no monetary thing to work out. And we had an agreement, that we would always talk through stuff. And the people that were supposedly mediating on her behalf had no integrity and never handled anything. And so it never got handled. And I was angry and I was hurt. And there was a lawsuit filed. And then there were lies that were told about me to justify why she did what she did. And I was going to get my money and I was going to make her pay. I was going to make her dad pay for lying to me, for saying he was going to handle stuff and then disappearing. I was going to show them. And at the end of the day, it was taking more of a toll on me because I needed to take care of my kids. I needed to take care of myself. I needed to go make money because all of a sudden my expenses doubled. So in a moment of clarity, after looking at what the next year of my life was going to look like if I had to be involved in a lawsuit and the things that I would have to hear, it was just better, healthier for me to say, fuck it. You know what? I'm done. I forgive you. Go live your life and be happy, and I will take care of my shit. I will be responsible for what I need to do. Doesn't mean how she handled it wasn't fucked up. Doesn't mean we couldn't have handled it better. Doesn't mean that there wasn't responsibility on my part for how things could have been handled. But I declared it done. I declared it, you know what, you're forgiven. Thank you for the time that we had together. I sent that email. And the second I did it, I felt lighter and I felt better and I felt like, all right, cool. I'm not dealing with that anymore. Let's deal with this. Which opened up a whole new world of possibilities and opportunities. Doesn't mean I wouldn't accept an apology if it came. Doesn't mean I won't accept a check if it comes. And I'm not tied to any of that. I don't expect any of that. There's a man that I know that I've met a few times who he was a child during the Holocaust. His family was killed by the Nazis in concentration camps. He was there. 70 years of his life, he was angry, miserable. Fuck the Nazis. And then he was in a seminar. And he had this moment of clarity where he's like, you know what, I forgive them. What happened, happened. And I'm not going to let that run my life anymore. And after 70 years, he was happy and free. And he shares about it. And it moves people to tears who he gets to be in his life and how he gets to experience life because he cut that loose and forgave. So it can be that easy. It can be difficult. Like if you have a deep traumatic thing, work with a therapist who knows how to handle that stuff, that can unwind and detach and do all that kind of stuff. But what's the cost of not forgiving? What is it? What do you get out of it by staying angry, by blaming somebody? And what would it be like if you didn't do that anymore? If you could just take care of you. Be you. Live your life. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, send them to me. I will post a video response. You can always reach me at coachwithmatthewsolomon.com.